I'm Emily Mallory, and this is Artifact 8 for Criterion 12. Collaborate with other educators. Criterion 12 relates to ISTE Standard 4.1 and 4A, which states that candidates dedicate planning time to collaborate with colleagues to create authentic learning experiences that leverage technology. As part of a graduate level course on 21st century teaching and learning, my colleagues and I were tasked with creating authentic learning experiences leveraging technology for our students. The success of our project development and execution was dependent on our collaboration. Upon developing the first draft of our projects, we posted our work in our online discussion forum for peer review detailing specific requests and areas for support. We contributed to each other's work through replies on the discussion forum. Using each other's guidance, support, and contributions, we made improvements to our designs and posted a second draft of our projects. In the second draft, we outlined how changes were made as a result of collaborating with and learning from our colleagues and requested additional support to further improve our work. For my How to Conserve Energy Making the Switch through Physical Science project, I requested help pertaining to student-centered work and ideas on how to publish and share student work to an outside audience. I utilized my colleagues' feedback to add a component to respond to the need for community involvement and more student-directed instruction, as well as including additional opportunities to meet virtually with different representatives from outside energy production corporations in order to hear a professional's expertise. I was also able to take their suggestions to include additional technologies for sharing student work to various audiences and for hosting a virtual release party for their advertisements. When posting her Creating an Amusement Park project, my colleague requested help in improving culturally responsive engagement, as well as ideas to increase her levels of technology use. In my reply, I made suggestions specific to these requests. I offered the idea of relating the theme park rides and attractions to different subjects to make this an interdisciplinary engaged learning project, and students can advertise these attractions in different digital flyers and brochures. I also offered the idea of hosting a carnival night for parents to visit the school and attend this event where the students presented their presentations to them. She referenced her use of my contributions in her next draft. I then provided additional feedback to the modifications she made on her final draft. Through this collaborative experience, my colleague and I improved our ability to create high-level, engaging learning experiences that leverage technology for our students. I'm Emily Mallory, and this is Artifact 8 for Criterion 14. Facilitate students' virtual meetings with experts or students. Criterion 12 relates to ISTE Standard 4.1 and 4A, which states that candidates dedicate planning time to collaborate with colleagues to create authentic learning experiences that leverage technology. I created an engaged learning project for my 8th grade physical science students titled How to Conserve Energy Making the Switch. In this project, students will design a plan for a local energy production company to convert the client city to use non-fossil fuel energy sources. Students will also create an advertising campaign to convince residents on why it's important to make the switch to a more environmentally friendly energy option. To expand students' authentic, real-world experiences, I included opportunities in the project for students to connect with experts, teams, and other students to gather their input on developing an advertising campaign on the conservation of energy production by making the switch to a new energy plan for their client city. Students will also use Zoom video and Google Meet conferencing tools to participate in virtual meetings. I'm Emily Mallory, and this is Artifact 8 for Criterion 15. Criterion 15 demonstrates mastery of standards PSC IT 4.4 and ISTE 4D, which states that candidates demonstrate cultural competency when communicating with students, parents, and colleagues and interacting with them as co-collaborators in student learning. I created an engaged learning project for my 8th grade physical science students titled How to Conserve Energy, Making the Switch. In this project, students will design a plan for a local energy production company to convert the client city to use non-fossil fuel energy sources. Students will also create an advertising campaign to convince residents on why it's important to make the switch to a more environmentally friendly energy option. To communicate with students about their project, I stayed in constant communication with them through our learning management system, Google Classroom. That's where I posted directions for the projects, any kind of resources they could utilize. It's also where, if students needed certain assistance with, I was able to provide that remotely. I also had students sign up for co-planning sessions using Google Meet. In this project, I will communicate with students, parents, colleagues, and other community members through the school website, which links to our cluster's weekly newsletter and parents and community members to see. Social media websites such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook will also be used. Here is an example of the cluster website and our weekly newsletter where I included information for parents regarding the Engaged Learning Project. I'm Emily Mallory, and this is Artifact 8 for Criterion 17. Criterion 17 demonstrates mastery of standards PSC IT 5.2 and ISTE 5B, which states that candidates design authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. I created an engaged learning project for my 8th grade physical science students titled How to Conserve Energy, Making the Switch. In this project, students will design a plan for a local energy production company to convert the client city to use non-fossil fuel energy resources. Students will also create an advertising campaign to convince residents on why it's important to make the switch to a more environmentally friendly energy option. This authentic project aligns with the Georgia Standards of Excellence and the nationally recognized Next Generation Science Standards. The focus content standard for this project is to obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the law of conservation of energy to develop arguments that energy can transform from one form to another within a system. This includes both student-led investigations to explain the information of energy and constructing an argument to support a claim about the type of energy transformations within a system. The National Curriculum Standards for Science outline how to develop a model to describe that when the arrangement of objects interacting at a distance changes, different amounts of potential energy are stored in the system, and where students define the criteria and constraints of a design problem with sufficient precision to ensure a successful solution, taking into account relevant scientific principles and potential impacts on people and the natural environment that may limit possible solutions. Students will also explore energy transformations, compare and contrast potential and kinetic energy, and research the advantages and disadvantages of using coal, natural gas, oil, nuclear power, biomass, wind, hydropower, geothermal, and solar resources. As part of this project, students will utilize a variety of digital tools. This includes software online lab simulations, web development, video recording, Google Meet for virtual meetings and communication. Students will also use a variety of online digital designing platforms to help in their design of their blog posts and site developments to display their advertisement campaign creations. Technology use in this project was carefully thought out. The overall plan for this engaged learning project is to support the upper indicators of engaged learning. The use of technology in this section is to provide students with an impactful learning experience. These are the strong indicators with the use of supporting technologies that are evident in this activity. The indicators are challenging, authentic and meaningful, and performance-based. Thank you so much for watching.